Start out around fifth position. So your E is going to be open. 3 grabs the B on the 7th fret. 2 grabs the G sharp on the D string. 1 is going to grab the E. And your pinky is going to grab the B on the very same 7th fret, right? And your pinky is going to slide you up to the 12th fret, and you're going to land a bar right there in the 9th fret, right? Karate chop position. With that resonance, you're going to get your 3rd finger on the E of the 12th fret, D. Then you have a mordent, right? Comes from the Italian word to bite, mordere, right? Bite on, bite off. Then you have a 30-second note rest, and right after that beat is where you execute your hammer on a pull-off, and then you're going to do a pull-off on the 2nd string from the C to the A, still in your bar, right? You're holding a mini bar on the 10th fret. So 3, and then your last note is going to be a harmonic on the D string, and then immediately you set up your bar on the 8th fret. 3 and 2 are going to give you your C and your E respectively, right? And then your pinky is going to be doing quite a bit of a hula hop dance, right? Right, 12th fret for the E, then for the G, 10th fret, directly over your ring finger. A little bit uncomfortable, but not too bad, right? So if we put it all together, start right there with a G, and then you are going to, while holding these 2 fingers in there, they're going to give the sensation of connection. You're going to move your bar so that it lands on the 5th fret, right? And this is what we call a hinge bar. My index finger is not fully planted across all the strings. From here, you're going to displace yourself over to the 5th fret. And then you actually have a rest. Your G is right there in your bar on the 5th fret. Then 3 is going to do quite a bit of a stretch. They're both on the same fret, right? The C here on the 8th fret, and the same thing for the C. And then you have your G again on your D string, right? And you're going to combine that with 2, hammering to 4 and going back to 2. And then your 3rd string has the C that plays against 4 notes, right? C against A, B, C, B. And then your pinky comes around to grab the F on the A bass. 2 grabs the F, and C is on the 3rd string, the F on the B string, right? And then C is in the 3rd string. You go only up to the C here. So before you were chucking, playing 2 notes in a 3rd. Right? So if we put it together now, right after that, to the A, you move on to 3rd position real quick, only to bring that pinky to your 8th fret, right? For this chord, it's kind of like an F major chord inverted, you know, in first inversion. And then very quietly play your G string after that. That's part of the accompaniment, right? Right. You don't want to overplay the G string because it's an open string, and they tend to be screamers when they have inside voices. So you really want to play them down. After that, you get yourself to the third position. 2 grabs the B, and your pinky is going to grab the F natural. That's a bit of a triplet, right? So 1, 2, 3, and then you have a 7 tuplet, if you may. You know, you have 7 notes, 7 16th notes over the course of the duration of 1/8 note. So you have 3, 4, 3, 1, 3, 1, and then you have to stretch the 3 so you can grab this chord here, right? That sets you really beautifully up on the 8th fret. You have all the notes right there. Second string, and then 2 and 4. Otherwise, you would be disconnecting your melody, right? A little tricky. And then you immediately have to move on with your bar. Not without the 3. Right? So that's quintuplet. 5 16th notes, 32nd notes. Over the course of, by the way, the previous 7 tuplet was 32nd notes too. 1, 3, 1, 4 for the G, and then your E is open. And then when you travel to first position for C to C, C and C, 5th string on 1st string, make sure that you're grabbing the lower C with your pinky. And then you have to change this around, right? The reason why you grabbed it there is because you're going to grab a G over here, right? 3. But then you're going to have to bring things around. From there, you're going to grab the C and the G. So bringing now back 3 down to grabbing the C on the 5th string. You're going to slide that so you find yourself in 5th position. So 3 is also, now we're going to try to avoid doing that kind of squeaky sound, right? Right. So what I do is I slide on the treble string, but I really keep my ring finger close there so that I don't lose that point of reference for the A string. And here I am in a bar, 3 stretches. Then 2 comes in, grabs the E, and 3 is going to grab the B. And then 3 pulls to 1, 4 on the B string, and then instead of going back to 1 there, we're going to do the 1 somewhere else. So we're going to use the 2 for the A, right? The 1 is going to go straight up to the 6th string in the next beat. Now, the score tells you to use 2, which is very difficult. You're stretching from the 3rd fret over here to the 6th fret over here, right? So you really have 2 empty frets right there. And on this larger scale 660 guitar, I'm really feeling it, right? So even on a normal scale guitar, this is a very tough stretch. So I recommend using 3 for the F natural, right? So after you land here, so you do a little bit of malabarics, right? If you can do this, all the more power to you. But when we're going very fast on this, now granted, this is not a very fast part of the piece. This would be ideal, but it is not very comfortable, right? So better to use 3 for the F. Bring around 2, which is the longest finger in the hand. It's not that difficult to bring it around and cross over the 3rd finger like that. So the 3rd finger is here in the F on the 6th fret. 2 is going to grab the B here on the 7th fret, right? And then it's really ideal that you had 3 there because of what comes up next, right? It sets you up to go back to the 3rd position, okay? So again, from here. And then back. And then back here. Now this is something that we covered during your lesson, right? Where we started with a bar because you need the 6th string and the first string. But then you grab your D string open, lifting your bar. Right? You're still holding the B on the third string and the F natural on your B string. You know, if somebody else is looking at it and thinking, well, there's a bar there, that's fine, right? Just trying to spare you a bar here. Hammer if you can, pluck it if you must. Right? And then here it's good to let go of things, right? So we're starting here. Reach out. Right? So you're grabbing the D here on the G string and your B inside there is open. Now you have to have a little bit of precision there to play those, right? Right, the first string and then G and B strings, holding a D and a B, right? It's a little tricky, but really well worth not having to hold a bar and stretching your hand so much. I mean, we've been doing so much of that already, right? That's what's written there, right? So that's quite a stretch there while holding the bar. I think very sensible, right? Reach, but just grab the sixth string. It's not a bar, right? Well, I don't know if you can see. Yes, you can see from that angle that I'm really not pressing my fingers down on the bar. It's just grabbing the sixth string. And then I changed the fingering slightly there to set you up for the next beat. So starting with G and the A, bring the 2 over so that the 1 can grab the 5th string right above the 2. Right? And then you line up 2 or 3. So 2, 3, and 4 are all lined up in the 5th fret. Stretch the 1 to the E. In the lesson you put an F, remember? So you remember to stretch 1 a little bit more, not too bad here. And then, right? Right? And again, I'm holding the C to C with 4 because of the G that is coming up there, right? And then this is the part that we already worked on earlier. And then for those of you who are joining in this video, I started my student working the latter part of this run before making this video. I find it that it's easier in pieces like this with so many complications to actually work backwards, you know, so from the very end over to the front end of this section of the piece. Right? And then I changed the fingering slightly here, using 2 for that G, the other G is open. That enables you to connect things a little bit better. Right? 1 and 4 will get to the A's, and then you get to the C's in octave. And then very quietly get to first position on that diminished chord. Almost like a whisper, right? So notice that I'm using 4 to facilitate the chord, the F major chord, right? And then it says cadenza lento, so the timing is almost ad libitum, it's almost up to you. Right? So start out here in 7th position. Then the good thing about Spanish music is that it separates ideas very clearly. Although the timing might seem like it's off balance, there's space to breathe in between all of these ideas. Then you have that the part that we know so already. Etc. Right? But let's actually take a look at that Adagio. So I was saying it's separate from the other part. Across strings, 1st to 2nd, right? 7th position, 10th fret. Hammer, then pull off. Again, hammer. fifth position, and in third position you have another mordent, right? And then here is tricky. The right hand is rather critical. Set yourself up in fifth position. Start with the index finger on the right hand. Right. Index pulls 2 to 1. Back again to the B string, this time with the middle finger. Right. 3 notes this time. So 2, index on the third string. So that I can slide my 3 over here. Not little sliding making that noise. Right, because we have the open G in there, I can lift, but keep the ring finger really close to the string so that I don't lose that reference, right? Right, again, slowly. Middle finger on the second string. Hammer, pull off, index on the third. Ring finger on the D string, 7th fret, middle finger on the right hand. Ring finger, G string open, enables you to bring that third finger to the 3rd fret for the F, middle finger, index plays the C, and then your thumb gets the